people who are progressive and they're trying to expand are always looking for good people, right? They're either in the attraction business or the recruiting business. I'm Coach Michael Burt. Welcome back to another episode of Person of Expansion. We're here at the Level 10 Studios at the Greatness Factory, and I've got two of my favorite people here today. And let me see if I put down in my notes, they're fun, they're skilled, right? And they kind of take something that most people think is difficult, and they bring a fresh perspective to this, okay? We're talking about HR, and we're talking about recruiting, and I'm talking to Nadie and Zach and Casey Scott. Right. And so, ladies, tell us a little bit. Let's start with, how did you come up with the company Zach Consulting? Like, where did this come from?
Yes. So it came from, I guess, I've personally been called into entrepreneurship for years and years and never had the courage to take that leap until the calling within me became so big that I'm like, I have to.
Yes.
And because the gap is so large, and I knew the impact that my team and I were having in corporate America, only we were having that impact for one company at a time versus having an impact at scale. And we know that the problem that we're solving, HR, compliance, recruiting, retaining your top people, is a challenge that is a challenge at scale. I mean, this is a consistent problem.
Yeah,
so.
and money changes hands, obviously, when problems are solved.
There you go.
And so let's talk about this for a minute, because when I wrote the book Person of Interest, I said, well, there's really people of expansion, right? And people who are progressive and they're trying to expand are always looking for good people, right? They're either in the attraction business or the recruiting business, right? And I remember many years ago reading Patrick Lencioni's The 5 Dysfunctions of Teams. I'm still mad at him for writing that book, because I wish I would have written that book. Because I was a coach, and every year I taught my team those dysfunctions.
That's
right? As 14 to 18-year-olds. And then I thought, well, building a team is tough with kids, but kids tried to do what you ask them to do. And then I started this business at 31 years old, and I thought, this is one of the hardest things I've ever done. And I'm a freaking expert.
Right.
Like building a team in today's world seems so much harder. Why is that? Because you guys are you basically have a boutique consulting firm. You specialize in recruiting, HR, right? These are two separate things. Why is it so hard for people today to build great teams?
I mean, one of the reasons is we are in a situation where we are working with multi-generations. I mean, we have the most generations in the workforce right now than we ever have. That's difficult.
Yes. Because the generations were raised differently, right? Like, I was raised by a single mother. She wouldn't let me miss a day of school. We picked up after ourselves around, right? Like you pick up the trash. Right. It's like, this is how you were conditioned, right? And now we're seeing there's just these different ideas of work.
What makes it difficult for the leader as well is the different generations are just motivated by such different things.
Interesting. So when people are coming to you now and they have companies, so let's talk about the size of companies you work with, right? Because basically they have a problem. They need skilled labor, right? And they needed it probably yesterday.
Yes.
And they're like, what do they say? Do they say, I'm sick of not producing? Do they say we're not hitting our numbers? Do they say we got dysfunction? Like, what do they come to you and what do they say?
So I'm not hitting my revenue goals is probably the biggest one.
Wow.
Because people, ultimately you can't accomplish your goal without people, and I'll asterisk without good people, without great people. So revenue, not achieving revenue goals is probably the top.
I agree.
The second is retention, an employee retention opportunity, where it's a revolving door, and this is where we put our HR hats on, and we really try to dissect, okay, well, what's going on with the culture? What's going on with the leadership? Are there opportunities there? Because
is it
at
the leader many times?
Is it most of the time. Most of the time it is.
And okay, so I always say we encourage what we allow. When you say because we coach a lot of businesses, a lot of privately held companies,
Yes.
right? And
Yep.
those companies are anywhere from startup to, let's just say on the high end, $100 million, right? I go into the culture as a coach. They bring me in because they want to perform at a higher frequency. They want to hit their revenue numbers. They want to
Yeah.
activate the prey drive,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah.
so when you think about the leader, I always say we encourage what we allow. Let's talk about that for a second, because what problems when you get in there do you see that the leaders have?
Usually it's a communication gap.
Okay.
And what I mean by that, it's the leader isn't very clear with what the expectations of the role.
Okay.
They're not clear with what success looks like.
Okay.
And then that just causes confusion, right?
Yes.
The team member thinks they're hitting the mark, they're hitting the goals, and most of the time leaders, I'll say this, they have a difficult time providing that constructive conversation, like you're not hitting the mark on A, B, and C, and here's why, and here's what we need to see to improve that,
Yeah.
right? In a constructive but positive. You don't need to tear a team member down, but
Right.
I think the missing piece is those conversations aren't being had until it's too late.
Okay, so let's talk about the HR side, okay? Because I'm going to tell you the first corporate assignment I had was a $2.2 billion bank, and they wanted to drive 10,000 new customers in a one-year cycle, and they hired me to be their coach. They gave me access to all 500 of their people in 43 cities, and they said, good luck, right? That's basically what they say.
Wow.
Here's your people, okay?
Yeah.
And they gave me a little team of 3 people, like 2 assistants, okay? And I work these people to death. Like I'm talking like 14 hours a day. And the COO called me one day and he said, you can't work these people like this.
Yeah.
And I said, do you want to hit the target or not? And I'm like, look, you hired a freaking Navy SEAL, right? I'm coming in. You told me what you wanted. I'm going to do it. And I said, when they get tired, give me 2 more people, right?
Yeah.
And so when you think about it from an HR perspective, a lot of small businesses don't have an HR department. Is this correct?
That is correct.
Do they come to you and you fulfill that for them? Or tell me, explain what you do for them, because I see the retention problem, and there's probably, you can't see the picture when you're inside the frame, right? So you're running it the best you can.
Right.
You're a leader. You built this company. You built it through hard work, right?
That's right.
But maybe you didn't have an HR department. So like, how does your company solve these problems?
Right. So we work in and on your business with you as
Okay.
a small business owner or a CEO.
Yep.
So we work in your business as an HR generalist or an HR business partner.
Yep.
So we're working directly with your employees. How much PTO time do I have left?
Yep.
What do my benefits look like? Can you reset my password? All of the things that owners are getting asked a million times a day, I'm sure.
Okay.
And then on the business, we're working with our business owners and CEOs as their HR thought partner and really as a strategist.
Yep. So taking a day off after July 4th.
That's right.
Okay.
I heard you on the, the live.
So, I had a problem with this because I coach so many small business owners, and it's like, if the 4th was on Tuesday, would you take the whole week off? Like what made it that, Friday was a day off? Because I thought Thursday was a holiday.
Right.
Would I be in HR doghouse?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
I mean, absolutely not. I mean, you have your, I guess, legal holidays, right? And really, it's what the company observes.
I got you.
So no, I mean, I think at the end of the day, I mean, you set the pace and the tone,
Yeah.
right, and the intensity for the company. And I think at the end of the day, if you hire the right people,
Yep.
that is aligned, and this is why the recruiting piece is so important, because you're trying to vet for those.
Yep.
For those questions to ensure that you're placing the right person that won't be intimidated by not having to work or by having to work on July 5th,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
You're trying to get ahead of that.
Well, let's talk about recruiting, because I was a sports coach, right? I could not recruit players, but I could take the players and coach and develop those players. And there were years that I coached harder, but we won less games because of the talent level of the players, okay? They weren't bad kids.
Yeah.
They just weren't as talented, right? And the example is, I win a championship one year and win 38 games. I'm 38-3. And we're winning 38 out of 41 times. And I had great players that had been playing since the time they were 4 years old. And then by the time they got to me, they were great. I just made them better.
Right.
And then they graduate. And then I come back and I coach my little heart out, and we practice 6 hours a day, and we get back to 22 wins. And I'm like, but it was actually my best coaching year. Now, I retired from that, and I get into the business world. And a lot of what I learned transferred. Mm-hmm. But there's a lot that didn't transfer. And one of the things that didn't transfer is this thought pattern of going out and recruiting better players. And I said before we started this interview that I'm looking for good, ethical, moral people. One, I'm looking for loyal people who believe in me and the brand. But I'm also now looking for very skilled people. Why are people so bad at hiring people?
I think it's just the lack of preparation and a lack of the process.
Yeah.
Step one in an effective hire is really understanding exactly what you're looking for and the exact problem that you're looking to solve. I think a lot of us go into hiring someone and we're not super clear on the job description and the day-to-day of this person. So setting yourself up for success is step one.
But you could be really good in an area, but just not be that great at hiring people, right?
That's 100%.
And in today's world, people need people. So when they need people, it's like, we need better people. We need to hit our revenue goals. We need this. They come to you and they go find me 3 people.
Yes.
And we need, right? I need a chief of staff. I need a sales manager. I need this. And then what happens? What happens then?
And then once we understand the exact need, we typically will run like a market analysis on compensation, because one of our pet peeves is when the leader comes to us, a hiring manager comes to us, we want to hire a CEO for $50,000.
Yep.
Like, you're not going to get someone great at that salary. So just really setting the expectation with like market data analysis and compensation. Well, for an A player, this is what we're looking at. So really, there's a lot of education to the hiring manager at the beginning, just to like level set those expectations.
So let's talk about that piece. Mm-hmm. Because you probably get what you pay for, right?
That's true.
And understanding that, like, you're not going to get a skilled person at that price, right? But a lot of companies are going to come back to you and say, look, we're a small business. Mm-hmm. We don't have big budgets for these people. What do you do then? Because I'm sure you hear that a lot, right? It's like, look, it's not that we don't want that player, but it's like, we got a cap on what we can invest. It's all based on a revenue number we're driving, or the certain time of year we are in the marketplace. What do you do then?
So we hear this often because our clients are mainly small businesses. So we hear this, well, we can't afford this like high salary, right? And this is where we say, well, let's get creative on what you can afford. Let's help them be part of the win. So if it's profit sharing, if it's a bonus, if it's commissions, you don't have to pay that high salary per se, but we can get creative on the perks and the upside, where there's skin in the game for the candidate coming in, and they're not losing out on a bunch of money.
But the better the players, the better the team.
Absolutely.
Okay, and you guys are in the business of going and finding people, right, in an expedited manner, right?
Absolutely.
So your goal is, I think we talked about it earlier, is it 90 days?
30 days is our goal.
30 days, okay.
30 days is our goal to place
To place someone 30,
yes.
So speed, agility, right? I mean, that's really, so let's compare and contrast this to other HR and recruiting firms that are out there. Mm-hmm. So you would say boutique, meaning personable, right?
Correct.
Not too corporate. I sometimes think there's too corporate.
That's right.
Okay. You try to take something that's typically not that much fun and make it fun.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
And, yeah, I'm looking at all my notes from earlier. Personalized approach, right? Mm-hmm. And you got this game plan to go out there and really, really put it together. And you got a very high referability rate. So what are people saying that you're getting so many referrals? What are they saying about you?
We placed the right person for their team to reach their profitability goals.
Okay.
And we did it very quickly. And honestly, not to beat a dead horse, but we do make it fun. People enjoy working with us. We build really strong relationships with our clients.
And then I would say with our clients and also with our candidates, like our candidates, they become lifelong like friends. And, typically, just as an example, if we place a CFO, the CFO will bring us as their recruiting partners too. So it's a long-term relationship for both. So we place an emphasis on quality of service on both the candidate experience. It's super important because we don't take it lightly that we're representing the company, right? We're not just representing Zach Consulting Group, we're representing the hiring manager, their culture, their company values. And so we don't take that lightly, but we delight in both of the experiences for both on the candidate and the client side.
All right, so let's go into your background. X number of years you did what?
X number of years, I built teams, in particular HR teams, but for 20 years, a C-level HR practitioner,
Okay.
right hand to the CEO.
Nice.
So from a strategic standpoint, my training really comes from building businesses, startups. That's my background.
Yep.
Startups, small businesses that grew and sold several times. So
Nice.
that's my background. And
Yeah.
Casey can.
I have a little over of a decade of experience solely, really focused on talent acquisition, recruitment, and talent management.
Yeah.
I've worked for both Series A, very small businesses, as well
Yep.
as Fortune 500 companies.
Yep.
Individual contributing, recruiting, from building departments and leading very large teams of recruiters.
Yep. Nice. And you guys came into my coaching program,
Yes,
right?
yes, I did. Yeah,
Eager and hungry.
absolutely.
And what prompted that? It's like, hey,
Well-
we have something special. Let's take it to a higher level.
Absolutely, I think so. We're a small business, a growing business, and for the most part, I'm the face of the company. I'm doing
Yep.
a lot of the business development work myself. So our business and really being around just the growth mindset, being around just positive influences, people that have already done it,
Yep.
being around that environment. Frankly, I have before the Greatness Factory, before joining your coaching program, it's something I prayed for because
Yep.
I've never been exposed to that kind
Yep.
of environment. So, a big gift to see. I said, Casey, I'm in Coach Bert's coaching class right now, and this was before I had officially signed up.
It was like a Friday at 5
It was
p.m.
a Friday
at
5
This
p.m.
frantic phone call.
And she's like, and Casey's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "You just have to trust me."
Yeah.
I feel so good about
Good.
this. I know that this is where I belong, and I
Yep.
know that this is going to really help us
Yep.
achieve our 10x growth.
Yep.
And she, of course, trusted me, and the rest is
The
history. So-
conviction.
The
How could I
Yeah,
not
I
agree?
love that.
I mean, you actually said that to me. You're like, well, if you feel so strongly about this, like, who am I to stand in the way? And
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
that's a great business partner right there.
Yeah,
So.
nice. Well, I observe people for a period of time because every week I get requests to partner with people. And, yesterday a guy was like, I'm really looking for a partnership. And I said, man, I don't partner with people that I don't know and I haven't observed for a period of time.
Mm-hmm.
And I only partner with people that I've watched over a cycle of time to see if they have a demonstrated capacity, to see if they are good people,
Mm-hmm.
to see if they show up, to see if I think they're really skilled at what they do. So, we're entering into a partnership where you guys are the official recruiting
Yes,
company
I'm so
of the
excited.
Greatness Factory and Coach Michael Burt. And I don't take that lightly because I'm like, I go home, I only take on just a few of these people. I talk to my wife about it. I'm like, hey, these are good people, but they're very skilled, right? So we're going to be introducing you to a lot of people, right?
Yep,
and
that's right.
and hopefully really expanding this business. And I'm excited about that because I see for years I've been over here coaching these companies like, man, and it's like, we'll just take these people and make them better, right? And it's like,
Right.
well, we it'd be nice if we had better people, and it's like,
Right.
and so I kept seeing all these leaders that I was coaching that needed recruiting or they needed better people or they
Yes.
needed some help in this area. So when you guys came along, I'm like, this is a business that I think is not a want, it's a need.
Absolutely.
And it's going to even increase. And then you talked about some things today that I didn't think about, like the generational gaps, and people are right. It's like this morning I was talking to a gentleman who's 72 years old who's looking at our coaching program, and then we're talking to 20-year-olds
Right.
that are looking at it. But I do see these things, so I see all these openings for you guys to really dominate. And you're in Nashville, but you can do things anywhere in the world.
Well, yeah, we have clients in South America right now, Central America, and then we service all over the nation as well.
Yeah, and you're passionate about it. I can tell.
Love it.
You got energy, you got
we
enthusiasm, right? And you're good at it.
Yeah, I mean, and music to our ears is when clients, they write to us or they'll call us and they say, because of your recruiting efforts, we have, I mean, the best story yet was we helped a local healthcare company meet their revenue goals in Q2. In Q2, and half of the time by hiring the right revenue generating folks.
I love it.
And that was just like, I'm like, yes.
Yeah. So that's why we're doing it.
This is why we're doing it, to help you achieve that.
Listen, it is brutal running a small business. Okay, and I've been doing this for years, right? Since 15 years. And I tell people it's like going into the jungle. Like, it ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? And any day it's like, and I don't think people understand that. So when you meet a person that really moves the needle, I call them needle movers, okay, which I think is a great little book title at some point. Very few people come in and move the needle. Okay, they come in and marginally change something or shift something, or this person is better than the person we had, or this person's more loyal than that person. But you very seldom see a person that comes in and turns the dial, right? And turning the dial is, hey, you helped us make $5 million more. Hey, we hired this one person and it changed everything. So to me, there's when the people out there listening to this really understand that that's what the people are looking for.
That's right.
And so when you hear somebody say, hey, we hit our numbers, that is the number one thing a small business owner wants to hear.
Absolutely.
We need to hit our revenue numbers so we can employ people, so we can grow, so we can spend money on marketing. So it's such an important role. So I'm excited about introducing you to all of our businesses that we work with, and because I think if we can focus on that needle moving and just understand, the better the players,
that's right,
the better the team.
That's right.
Right? And it's not easy. So we understand, because you guys run a business, it's not easy doing this every day, right?
That's right.
And so I'm excited about this, and love your spirit, love your energy, love your enthusiasm, and we're going to do big things together.
Yes,
So if someone is out there watching going, I need to level up my team, what do they do?
Yes, you can go on ZAKconsultinggroup.com and just submit a contact form, and we will give you a call within 24 hours.
That's right. Yeah. And they're going to talk to you most
So
likely.
They will talk to me, Canadian.
Yep.
Like Canadian.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And then we get people signed up, and they come over to you, right?
That is correct.
And you start working with them on the process.
That's right.
That's correct.
It's painless. By the time someone submits their form to us, we get a consultation call. We sign the contract. I mean, this is a matter of a couple of days before we start recruiting for your next hire.
Nice. I love it. I love it. Well, excited for you guys. Excited we're going to do big things together. And great episode of Person of Expansion. So thanks for coming to the Greatness Factory. All right, guys, I'm Coach Michael Burt. Another edition of Person of Expansion. You can listen to all of our podcasts. Just download America's Coach. Every podcast is under America's Coach on YouTube. Thousands of videos. And if you haven't been to the Greatness Factory, come to the Greatness Factory, because it is the place to be if you want to work, learn, grow, connect, exchange. It's only going to get better. They're bringing in the live plants today. I'm so excited. And the rugs downstairs. And, man, it's just this beautiful place to work at. So we're excited to have you at the Greatness Factory. Go to greatnessfactory.com and coachburt.com.